What is up, YouTube, and welcome back to another episode of Necesse. Just trying out a few of the items that dropped from the Spider Queen. I have killed it one more time since last episode where I did it with one of the settlers. I went back and did it with all of the settlers as well. Though, to be honest, it was quicker to do it with one of the settlers because it was like 28,000 health or something ridiculous. Now, there is an armor set we can now make with the Void Crystals, I believe. I'm just going through and having a look at what items we can make from some of these drops in the future. There is the ability to increase your trinket slots. I haven't got there yet, but you can actually do that, so that's exciting. And we need to make sure we know what trinkets we've got and what they can be turned into so that we know what our next one will be. The ones that we have on us are likely not to stay. I mean, the water mobility one is not really that important unless you're in water. So I would probably say that's going to be the first one to go at some point soon. So looking under demonic crafting, we can see there's a lot of void items we can make. Void cutler as well, which is the summoning thing for the wizard. Demonic helmet, 11 armor, that's a nice amount of armor. There's a demonic chest and demonic boots or shoes, whatever you want to call them, as well, along with the chest plate. And then the bonus is additional defense, so that'll be good for us. If we want to go on a defensive build, of course, you won't really need a lot of defense to be a summoner, because the idea with a summoner is you're not actually getting in there. But if you want to do melee damage and you want to actually get balls deep to the bosses or the enemies, then of course going full armor is the way to go. And there it is, pushing our armor up to 38 now, and the set bonus as well with 10 max resilience, 3 additional armor and some crit. The resilience seems to be sort of a shield over the top of your armor, so the resilience has to be burnt away before you start taking actual damage through the armor, which is quite good. But we'll see how it goes. I really want to be a summoner though, and the next summoner armor is quite a bit later on. I'm not sure exactly where. I believe it's quartz or it might be ivory, but we'll see. For now though, we'll try this armor out and see how it goes, and if we don't like it, we'll just give it to one of the settlers, right? The good thing as well I've noticed is if you put armor and weapons in the chests, the settlers will come and get the better upgrades. They'll upgrade themselves. So you can see there's a few people walking around with leather now. If I was to fill that chest full of gold armor, they would come and use that. So it's a good way of keeping everybody up to speed. If you can afford to do it, then you make copper, iron. Then it goes gold, then it goes the ice shards, and then the demonic is the highest level I've got to, certainly so far. Decided to build myself a little house, office, whatever you want to call it, out the way, and basically it's just the other side. All of this is subject to change, but I thought I'd give it a go, why not? I do need a house of my own, and now I know how to block them from stealing my bed. I can do so. Now, it's supposed to be a circle-ish, but it looks more like a teardrop, I think. And that right-hand side is definitely on the wonk and needs to be fixed soon. There we go. Basic house. And it's got a dungeon table and chairs in there, a dungeon clock with a dungeon chest. No bed, as we don't have a bed for me as of yet. But I can steal somebody else's bed to sleep. It's not the end of the world. So, and what I'm going to do is set that chest to be coins. So any coins that we do get, or I loot that I don't know I've got, the settlers will move all of that into that chest for me and just keep it nice and tidy. Oh, and I did manage to scrape together a bed. Even better. So we can use that. Can't use it because it's outside. It needs a door to be classed as a room, so we'll have to throw in a door as well. And with the door in place, it's now a room, and we can use that to set my spawn and wake up if we need to. But we're not going to do that. Also, you wake up automatically at 7 AM, so you can't sleep through the day, FYI. So I've just got in the mine again to get some, not copper really, I'm after iron or gold, just for defensive capabilities for the actual settlers to make them a bit tougher. Copper is okay, but a lot of them already have copper on, so it's not going to be an upgrade, right? So to upgrade we need gold or iron, and it does seem that I find more gold than I do iron all the time, which is weird. That ching noise you hear is the defense on my armor, as I mentioned, being used up. Resilience, as it's called. You can see in the top underneath my health there is a gold shield. That has to wear down before you start taking any damage. So that noise you hear is just basically it bouncing off my armor. They're always good to kill because they give lots and lots of gold. Only in this mine, as in depending on which biome you go to, them little runner guys will give you the best ore on the day. There's a good amount around here of iron actually, and also clay, which you can make brick walls. And I would like to upgrade all of my houses to the brick walls. There doesn't appear to be any other items you can make with brick, like the furniture, etc., that you can with everything else. But wall-wise, I think other than... So we can have a brick wall for the rooms, and then the floor can still stay wood. I think that would be a nice contrast. We'll see. And then the centre room is going to still be the stone walls that we've already got. There's no point changing that. I may upgrade it with a better material later on in the game if that happens, but for now it's a storage facility that holds more than we'll ever need, I expect. But we'll see how we go. Returning back after a very long and successful mining session again. I didn't time-lapse that one because I assume, and I can only imagine, that that gets a bit tedious. If you enjoy it though, let me know and I will make sure to put more effort into the time-lapses, or remove them if you think there's too many, but you'll have to let me know. For now though, it was just a case of getting copper and gold and iron, as I said, though I didn't get as much as I wanted, but it was enough anyway. We've got another guard here now. They are around the 300 to 400 gold mark, but they have base stats. Their health is slightly higher than everybody else's. And just like a villager, you can make them do most things. For me, I'm kind of just hiring everybody or accepting everybody that wants to come, because the more people I've got, the more automations I've got, is the way I see it. As long as we don't run out of food, then how is it an issue? And beds, obviously, but that's already an issue, so I'm not bothered about that. But yeah, as long as we don't run out of food, and the field setup that we've got, and the amount of people that we've got working the fields, I can't imagine we're going to run out of food anytime soon. You can see some of them blueberry bushes now fully grown and fruiting as well, which is good. But again, you need 4 or 5 berry bushes per settler, so we haven't got enough, but at least it's going to give us some blueberry pie. Actually, it's blueberry cake, but anyway. And after doing the landfill over here, it means I can now extend out these bedrooms ever so slightly so that there is the same amount on this side as the other side, and it makes the whole settlement more symmetrical. 7 on each side, and there's 2 layers, so 14 on each side, which gives us 28 bedrooms in total. I think I've got about 17 settlers in total, so more than enough. Of course, we haven't got that many beds though. And I'm pretty confident that this is too far across. I don't need to build this. I need to count it. But yeah, 7 on each side, 2 tall, so 28 in total. And looking on the mini-map, you can see there that there is 7 by 8, so I need to drop one off. But it looks good from the map as well. So you can clearly see that this slot is not needed, and that will reset that. But all in all, we still need to work on the beds next. So what to do when you've got nothing to do? Call everybody and try and kill the first boss just because it's fun. So we can get everybody out here. They'll of course wipe out all the minions and do all the bits that are out here. Any hostiles that are anywhere nearby will get absolutely wrecked. I've got 6 of the summoners, so we'll give that a go. Evil Protector incoming. 7,350 health to start with. The only downside to this boss is it doesn't really matter how quick you kill it or what damage you do to it. It does keep going up at set percentages, so you have to... It makes it take longer than you really wanted it to. As you can see down there at 55% and then at 30-ish%. So what did I think? I'll just summon more than one at a time. So with 2 evil protectors down now, 30% and 50%, you can see. They will go up. That one goes up 8.5%. The second one should be down any second and then go back up around the 30% mark, as expected. You can summon as many as you like, but there is a lot of AoE and the people aren't indestructible, as you can see by their health. Now if they get too low and they don't have anything to heal with, they will run back to their bedrooms to hide, which is good. And then the final one here, Looks like we're going to get a reset though at the 14% mark. This does give us demonic ingots though, which are, for now anyway, the best possible resource that I can use for both armors, tools, weapons, all of it really. Demonic bars, yeah, got 12, so about 20 odd bars from them 2 bosses, and then let everybody go back to the bases. They'll go and heal up. You can see that cow farm is getting quite cramped. A lot of baby calves, and the sheep farm as well. I'm having to shear those myself because again we still don't have an animal keeper, and the cows are not being milked because I haven't got round to making a bucket yet to do it myself. Maybe I'll do that shortly and then get a cheese press, we'll see. Balance Frostfire Foci is an improvement. Also does damage, so there are some very interesting upgrades coming shortly, but I think realistically we need to get past the wizard boss, which is our next quest. After that you then fight the boss in the desert, which is a vulture looking crow thing. I think that's where it then turns into hard mode as it's known in like Terraria and stuff, or Terraria. And we then get the new location, which is the deep caves, and that's where we start getting the really good stuff like life quartz and tungsten and various other things to do our proper upgrades and get some serious damage out. I really need to look at getting a test dummy as well so I can see what damage I'm actually doing, just to make sure that my setups are improvements and they're not wastes of time. Chasing after the traveling merchant here just to make sure I sell all these map shards off to get some free gold. By free I mean it's just getting rid of the map shards. Is there anything in there worth taking? Not really. I'll take a few bits of rope, why not? And I'm not really looking at the cosmetic side, but I might if I find something that interests me. Especially if you can dress up as a bee. That would definitely be something I wear. So arriving over at the second island to the east, with them ropes I just bought, I'm immediately going to come in and steal, or well, it's not actually stealing because these are wild. So grab as many sheep as I possibly can to get this wool problem gone, pretty much. Cow-wise, I'm not worried because they're breeding like wildfire. Sheep, not so much, and I'm having to do it myself, so it's remembering to actually shear them, which is the problem. So I'll just have a quick run around this map and collect as many as I can. Technically, I can get 5 more, so 10 in total, because I've only got 5 rope left. So if there are any more sheep on this island, I will grab those too and try and ignore the cows. And there we go. So we'll get these in here, quickly shut down the fence so they don't escape. Now I just need to let them go, and that's a nice bunch of sheep. Also obtained for the base, which will give us a lot more, well, they'll give us a lot more wool because there's more of them, but also they'll breed as well and we'll get babies quicker, so it's a win-win all round, I think. As long as we keep them fed, which is the wheat, and the wheat is easily grown automatically, and it's also foraged or placed in the troughs automatically. So the whole process is pretty simple. I don't have to do anything, just reap the rewards, and as soon as we get an animal keeper, we'll be laughing, I think. So there is a raid incoming from the northeast for a change, and I'm in the process of building some basic defences, and that is just basically a city wall. I will extend this and replace it for stone. I'm not convinced that that matters because they don't actually attack the walls to my knowledge, but I'd rather have a stone wall when I can get around to it. For now though, I am just going to throw it down. The idea here is that when they do attack, if I don't get a chance to get to them before they get to me, at least I know exactly where they'll be coming through. And maybe I can set some traps down. I am going to try a kill box type style thing to see if it works. But here they are, so I need to call to arms the entire village, and immediately they will go balls deep. Luckily we can't hurt each other, so that's good to know. When you're in your settlement you can't hurt your allies. Well, it's actually up on getting the settlement flag that stops that from happening. And now we just need to muller them. As they come in, we hunt them down. And these raids are pretty impressive. They do send a good amount of enemy settlers in, and they do get quite tough. They also, weapons and armor increase as you go too. There is a chance of them dropping their armor and their weapons, and then that's an upgrade all round for us as well. So it's win-win, I would say. That's a couple there, and there you go. Raiders have been defeated and they are leaving. Not sure how they can leave if they're all dead, but nevertheless. And then I'll just make sure now to go around and collect all the tutus that dropped from them, and any of the armor or weapons that have dropped, I will of course pass them out to my settlers. Now these zombies just brain dead chasing my people. Yeah, I can deal with those. Jobs are good and everybody's gone to bed. Just testing out the test dummy. Gives a DPS reading so you know what you're doing, and if it's better or worse, it's a good way of doing it. Also, the walls I have replaced. It's no secret, I didn't leave it in because we've got plenty of stone, right? So I just made, I think, 400 and went round and just replaced the wood for stone. Simple as that, really. Nothing too significant. And we can see there that we're getting about 150-ish DPS from the sword. It's not bad. But now I've got a benchmark. So now I can get tools or weapons and the various different things that we've got, even the summoning stuff like this, and see what damage they do. Knowing then which is putting out the most damage is then the thing that I will use. Everything else then can go to my settlers to be, well, for defense or attack, depending on what we're doing. The great sword and the great bows have significant damage increases, but you have to charge them up and they are very slow. So be pre-warned with that. I'm not convinced that giving any of you settlers the armor that's for summoners is worth it, simply because they can't summon minions, right? The snowman now shooting his snowballs at the target and then me smacking it with a sword is basically the setup that I've got because I am a melee character with this build. I'm not convinced, however, that I like it, and I will go back to Summoner very, very shortly. Over at the alchemy table, I'm going to set some potions to be automatically crafted. The health potions, of course. I've got the fields growing crops based on potions, so we should be set. As long as we've got the sand, which means we've got the glass bottles, we can then make the first tier of potions anyway. Of course, the upgraded versions, you need to be in hard mode. So health potions, regen potions, resistance potions, and attack speed and damage potions are all reasonably simple to make. Attack speed, not so much actually. The void shards, I mean, we have got them, but they're not, we haven't got many of them, so I'll probably leave that one, right? No, I'll just turn the number down, that's fine. So yeah, this way you then set it to do it. Your crafters will then build those, put them in a chest, and you've always got to stock back up. And that means that when you want to go to battle, that you are able to just grab the parts, put them in the inventories of the raid group, and they can then use these potions also, buff themselves and heal themselves throughout battle. Because again, losing them means you lose them for good. We've got a nice little settlement here, a nice little colony of people. I don't want to lose anybody, so it doesn't cost much. And we're growing these farms literally for this purpose. The farms are for potions and eating, but the majority of the farms are for potions. Just bobbing over to the wizard in the town over to the northeast that we've been to a few times to try and enchant some items with the gold I've got. None of my actual armor is enchanted, it never has been, so that'll be a good idea. Also, weapons that I do have, I can improve the enchantments. It's not cheap though. I mean, that's 716 gold, and I got 10% more damage and 20% more attack speed, which is insane because this sword is already silly strong. Whoops, I wasn't supposed to hit him. Pickaxe the same, and bow will go for something if it'll allow us, but that's already got a good one. Axe, any tool increase is also good for doing a job faster. Especially the pickaxe is the priority, I would say, because you're always going to be mining. The axe for wood, not so much. I only really use that for rebuilding or ripping down buildings. Getting my armor also done is a good idea. Now, I didn't do the trinkets, I don't think, and I'm pretty confident you can. So note to self, I need to remember to do that and make sure you get an enchant on everything, whether it increases the max health, damage, or anything. It all adds up and will give you significant increases in the future. It isn't cheap though, and it will cost you many, many thousands of gold. And with the automation of the potions and the very, very snazzy outfit that's now been enchanted across the board for myself, all of them potions going into the group, we're going to go and give the Spider Queen another go. All of us, everybody's kitted out. We've got potions and things. I shouldn't lose anybody. I do need to try and remember to do the... change the settings for them using the health pots, because very often when you kill the Spider Queen, you lose somebody because they're standing on the poison and they're not allowed to use it because you're no longer in combat. So that's the thing. But let's go and visit Mrs. Queen Spider. 3, 2, 1, here we go. 10,500 health. That is burning down pretty quickly. Very impressive team. Very impressive indeed. Some of them still get a bit discombobulated by the fact that they're not close enough to know that it's there, which is odd. But most of them still do what's needed to be done. Burning this down for its last 5%, and the only reason it's still alive now is because it's hiding in the walls. But there we go. We'll get that ripped down, and boom. Spider Queen has been defeated. So why not summon another one? 10.5k health once again. And this one really is burning down fast. Holy crap. She needs to hide or she's going to get wrecked. Already at 54% health and dropping very quickly. All of them blue tiles on the floor are poison. If they're standing on them, they will out-heal them with the potions. But once we get out of combat, of course, they won't. And there we go. With an achievement for too easy because we killed her quicker than 30 seconds. So GG us and GG to the settlement. And we are at time. So thank you very much for watching. If you like the video, please click like. Any comments are welcome as always. Join us on Discord. Subscribe for more. Take care. Goodbye.